All right, what we're looking at this moment is to deal with factorization by grouping. All right, the key thing about factorization by grouping is that we're going to have four terms dealing with. So we're looking at number one here. So as you could see, we have four terms. In factorization by grouping, you want to try to group the terms in two pairs. But while you're doing that, you want to make sure that each pair would have something in common. So for this pair, I'm just going to put a 1 over this, and this I'm just going to put a 2 here. For each of those pairs, there is something in common. So for group 1, 5m will be the common factor. So what we're going to do is to factorize by the highest common factor, group 1. So 5m into 5mn will give us n, and then 5m into 25m will give us 5. What we're going to do now is to factorize group 2. While looking at group 2, we want to make sure that the two brackets would come back. The highest common factor of group 2 is positive 3n to the second power. Remember that whenever you're choosing a letter, make sure that you use the lowest power in the situation. All right, so here goes. Open a bracket. So 3n squared into 3n to the third would give us n, and the 3n squared into 15n squared would give us 5. At this moment, you could see that both brackets are identical. Now it's like we're going to factorize again. So the common factor is n plus 5. And then we're going to open the other bracket. And when we factorize, we're going to bring down the 5m and the 3n squared in the other bracket. So that is 1. Let's look at situation 2. Here, I'll try to group up those two and these two. I'm going to call this group 1, group 2. Let us observe to see if we have anything in common. Yes, we do. Because we could use 4a for group 1 and negative 5b for group 2. So let's go. 4a for group 1. So 4a into 4au, we're left with u, and 4a into positive 24 AV, we're left with 6V. We're done with group 1. For group 2, our common factor is negative 5B. Remember though that you want to make sure that the two brackets come back. So make sure that the sign is appropriate. So negative, the sign right here is appropriate. So negative 5B into negative 5BU, we're left with U, and negative 5b into negative 30bv, we're left with positive 6v. Let me write this better. And we're done. Again, you could see that we're on a good path because the two brackets did come back. So at this time, you want to write back one of these brackets, and then the other two things on the outside would go in the other bracket, 4a minus 5b. Let's look at number 3. We're going to be grouping them, right? Just the same. So we're talking about grouping these two and those two. For the first group that I have here, I'm going to use 3x. 3x into 15xw would give 5w. 3x into 18xk would give 6k. Then I'm going to use positive 5y. When I divide this, 5y into 25y, w, and we're left with 5w. 5y into 30yk, I'm left with 6k. We're done. Again, if we should check, you'd see that this bracket is identical to this bracket. So it means that we're on a good path. Let's write back one of these brackets. Basically, we're factorizing again. And if we should factor out, we're going to get 3x coming from here and the positive 5y coming from the other side. Let's do the last one, number 4. Here, those two and those two. What's my common factor here? What could work? We're seeing that 7x could work. 7x into 7xy, I'm left with y. 7x into 28x to the third, I'm left with 4x squared. From this, I'm looking that 1 would work, plus 1. 1 into y give me y, and 1 into 4x squared give me about 4x squared. Again, you definitely see that the brackets did come back. So because the brackets are the same, I know that I'm done. So I'm going to write back y plus 4x squared in one bracket, and then 7x positive 1 in the other bracket. Now, you could just pause the video for a moment and try number 5. So you should be finished by now. This is the response. So we're going to group these two, then we're going to group those two. What is common here? 2b squared. This is going to give us 3b. 2b squared into 16b squared is going to give us positive 8. Negative 5. Negative 5 into negative 15b will give us 3b. Negative 5 into negative 40 will give us positive 8. So let's write back these brackets that are the same, and the other two things on the outside, which is 2b squared and negative 5 will come in this bracket. All right, that's all for now. See you next time.